Review copy provided by PlayStation. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel Bloodworth. We're here to talk about our first impressions of the PlayStation VR2. It's been over there at Brad's house for the weekend.
Yep.
So Brad's got to play a lot. Huber's got to play a lot. There's a lot we haven't got to play.
Yes.
Really. Yeah. I got to play a little bit before we packed it up. But yeah. Hardware, games. Let's kind of run down the list of like what we played real quick without going into them. We played Horizon,
Call of the Mountain.
Yeah, we've all played that a little bit.
Tentacular.
Yes.
Nice.
Me and Hubert played that. I played some of What the Bat.
Love it. I wish I
Yes.
would gotten to play it.
It's
we'll
fun,
get into why we
yes.
didn't here.
And I think that's it off the top of my head.
I played a little bit of Moss Book 2, which
Yes,
I
you
just
did.
kind of walked around
Just
a little
to
bit.
see it,
and then
yeah.
same thing with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
Cool.
But yeah, the one thing personally that sticks out to me about this, compared to the PlayStation VR 1, is just how much more lighter and more comfortable the headset
Yes,
is.
it
Definitely.
is.
Because with the original PSVR, I would often, I would just need breaks for like my neck and my comfort and just getting sore. And with this, it's like we'd switch games and like I just left it on.
Yeah.
It was easier to
No
keep
problem.
it on than to take it off.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
I would say, it's much more comfortable, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on there, like making it feel comfortable, smooth, and secure.
Yeah. Easier
One
to
wire.
adjust, I feel like.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, one wire.
As someone who's like set up PSVR, the first one, many times, it's very annoying and a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
especially recording stuff because you got to like do all the
Yeah.
things.
Oh.
So many times, Brad, you and I would like every time we'd set up PSVR 1, it's like, all right, how many games do I need to go through? Because I don't want to tear it down
Yeah.
and set it up again. Yeah.
Now it's just one cable,
Yeah.
one simple cable. You plug it right in the front of the PS5, and that's it.
Nice.
It is so much more simple.
Yeah. What's also crazy is like now you don't have to worry about having a stupid camera.
It's another step, just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when you
They're on the front of the headset.
Yeah.
So nice.
When you're setting it up, it's like set your play area and like I think with like Oculus or whatever, like I'd like trace the room.
Yeah,
and with this
yeah.
is like you just look around the room
Yeah, it does that.
and it knows where things are.
You can trace it too.
Okay, good.
Like I looked around my room, then I traced along traced it around to make it a little more accurate, a little bigger. So it gives you that options at least.
That's nice. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that was the thing here because we didn't want to move all the couches and everything just for like a couple of minutes of testing. So like it just straight up wouldn't let me play What the Bat in the studio.
Yeah, you need for that game specifically. You needed like 6x7 amount of space.
Yeah, it was like
something like that.
6'7" or something.
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that.
By 6'7". Yeah. What else? With the controllers feel nice.
Yeah, the controllers
That was
feel
one.
really
I
good.
really like those. I really like those.
They are a
controllers.
big step up from the Move controllers.
Big time.
Huge
That-
step
yeah.
up.
That was one of the things I noticed the most was the controllers feeling
Yeah.
comfy.
You don't
Feeling
even
nice.
have to think about it. You just,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just move your hands.
Yeah, it was so nice. I like those.
Yeah, they feel like much more. So like I remember Astrobot was you used the DualShock,
Yeah.
instead of the Move controllers because the analogs and everything was not as good. On this with these controllers, I feel like you could play any game.
Move didn't even have analogs.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You could use this controller for like anything much more easier now. Like I don't think you'll need to use it if there is a theoretical successor to Astrobot coming to this. You could probably just use these and it'll be great. You don't have to worry about them. The thumbsticks are smaller than like
Yeah.
the DualSense is.
Yeah.
But it feels fine
Yeah.
from like the positioning of your hand, because it's not resting like a controller. But it feels good. Yeah, they are much nicer, I would say, than the Move controllers.
Yeah.
Much more accurate and everything too.
And just visually too, the whole just looking through it all, I just noticed how much clearer it is. I will say though, just for me, I still got a little motion sick. That's just some people respond
Yeah.
to VR differently.
Yeah.
So like I went home after played for like hour and a half. I went home and I was just like a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Did it help when you were sitting down?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It just gets me. Like I can handle it for a bit, and like obviously I played Resident Evil 7, full VR and just like powered through, but there is still just a little
Yeah,
bit
I get that.
of that queasiness. I
Sure.
get.
Yeah, that's a fair point. We,
Yeah.
as far as I know, will not get to play Village or Gran Turismo 7 before launch because of just patches to the
Yeah.
games. They didn't have any way to deliver those to us early that I know of. So I'm really looking forward
those
to
are like big main eventers I want to
Yeah.
try
Dude,
out.
both of those, blood. Yes.
I do want to talk about, while we're talking about hardware stuff, the eye tracking is just
It's insane.
it's
dude.
freaky. It's so freaky.
Yeah.
There's like you just look at stuff and it knows what you're looking at.
Yeah, Huber, on the setup, you didn't see this, but there's like a part when you put it on, and it's like a circle of stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like having you just look at them. You're going around in circles,
So
just going
sick.
with you, and it's just like go back and forth. It's
But even
crazy.
Even a lot of menus, though.
Yeah,
It's like
a lot of
you
menus,
just look at the thing on the menu and then push the button. It's like, you
Yeah,
don't have
that
to use
was
the
nice.
analog
Yeah.
sticks at all.
What's that game about blinking?
Oh, Before Your Eyes.
Yeah, I
It's
think
coming-
that
it's coming out
coming
soon.
to this,
Yeah.
dude. It's gonna be insane, man. Actually, like that's too crazy. Yeah, that's too crazy.
Bring your tissues for that one.
Let's talk about Horizon.
Yeah.
Call them out.
Yeah,
This is the
dude.
showpiece for this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
This thing
Yes.
is high budget.
This thing is sick.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
It starts out, the game feels like Disney Jungle Cruise. So
Yeah, you're on
it
a
is
boat.
so funny.
Yeah, you're on a boat. That's like classic VR is like easing you into the
Yeah.
world. It's kind of a long boat ride, but it's cool. You know, you're going through the thing. You're seeing all the horizon, like creatures like walk around like a tall neck walking over you. It's cool just seeing the scale and like the gators down there, dude. You get knocked in the water at one part. Or at one part, you gotta kind of swim to the shore. You see the gator in the water. It's very intense,
Love the
dude.
Gators.
But
But yeah, the visual like showpiece
yeah,
cannot
it
be
looks
overstated on
so
that game.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so good. It runs really good.
The scale is really
Yeah.
excellent. You can see like pretty damn far off in the distance, waterfalls going down, birds flying by, the height of some things,
Yeah,
you know, you're
feels
climbing
high.
like you're climbing mountains. That's one of the main mechanics is like you're climbing up these cool ledges. You're like shimmying a lot and like looking where to go, grabbing that,
Yeah.
up. It really
It
feels
feels really good.
It feels awesome.
You like look down, see
Yeah.
how far you can like fall if you don't hold on
Yeah.
long enough. So I really appreciate
Oh,
that.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
One thing we had issues here, but I think it's because of the space thing. Did you have issues with the like climbing stuff and like them showing the zone? You going outside
For
of the
me,
zone like I did?
no.
Okay.
I think it's just kind of a learning curve thing, just getting the feel of like what spacing works good in VR, kind of
Yeah.
like that. Like when I played it at home in a smaller space, I wasn't having any problems.
Okay.
I got a little bit of that personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like with Tentacular, we'll get into it. Sometimes the tentacles would just be like, and, like
Yeah.
freaking
Sometimes
out.
you got to be like pretty
and
pretty chill about some things.
even with the bow in Horizon, I don't know if you got it, but like even when I'm holding the bow, you still get a little bit of that, just
Shake.
just a little bit of that VR shake. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if that was
I'll-
just me or
I'll say that's your hands.
That's your hands.
yeah, just
Yeah,
me
that's the
shaking,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
Mine wasn't shaking that much.
I'm
think-
shaky.
I think I think the Wii taught us that lesson as well. It's like a lot of the times the things that you think you're doing are not what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
And you're like, why is the controller? Because you're shaking.
Yeah.
That's why.
And probably a reason, Huber, is because I threw you in
Yeah.
at further
Yeah.
part of the game, and
Yeah.
like here was a fight immediately for you. So
awesome.
I threw
Yeah.
you in. But with Horizon, so the control scheme that you start with is not free movement. It's like you hold down two buttons on the controllers, and you kind of move it like up and down motion.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you can move it back and forth. You just
Yeah.
little dance.
You do it
It's
up
on
and
the
down
floor.
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And
On-
to like go backwards, you could like push back like
Yeah.
that. But of course, you could just turn with the right stick if you wanted to.
I really liked this motion. As someone who
It
gets,
probably helped with motion
it
sickness.
really
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
because I did when I went through Village, I did the free motion, the whole Village 7 went through the whole thing free motion. You know, just powered through because it's Resident Evil. But just this simple motion really helped.
Yeah, I'm sure
something
they
about
really-
it. Yeah.
yeah.
They also have the teleport option.
Okay, they did. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
pretty sure we didn't mess with
I
it,
didn't
but I
check it
saw
out.
like there was like a lighter.
Yeah.
You know, they like had 3 levels.
Great.
Of advanced controls.
Yeah.
And I think the first one is the teleport
Yeah,
option.
there were a ton of options. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the free motion,
Which
the-
is what
the
I
third
used.
One. Yeah.
And I think it was really good. Like that doesn't bother me in VR games, so I always do that. You know, it just helps me feel more connected and like,
Yeah,
moving in
yeah.
the world.
I don't like the teleport. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's just it's like a motion sickness kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like, some people can't do it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Galaxy's Edge also had the teleport.
Yeah,
thing going
some
on.
games definitely have that. Dude, shout out to the bow though. Feels really good, man.
Awesome.
Like you put it over your back and you hold down one of the trigger buttons in your hand. Your bow will be out, and you do the same for an arrow. Just kind of put it together naturally, and you just pull back, and it feels really good. Like I was having my eye closed on one of them to see better, and it was like working. I was getting 6 shots. I was like, this
Yeah.
feels really good.
Saw like a little glass jar on a ledge. It was just like,
Yeah.
boop.
Yeah.
Shot it. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
it makes it feel really good when you land a shot.
Yeah, it does. And there's like targets you can shoot like for extra stuff like that.
Like even in Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, dude, hitting those watcher eyes is so satisfying.
It is,
dude,
yeah.
in the VR, nailing that. It was
so
sick.
we did do a watcher combat encounter.
Nice.
So for me, because I was in free movement, the controls were a little different. So when you get into a fight, Bloodworth, it kind of like locks you into like a little arena thing. So for me, one stick was I would just like strafe, and the other stick, if I hit it, he would like dash to a side. So certain strafing. With Huber, who was doing the default control, I believe you're doing some sort of like motion with your hand.
Yeah, it's like hold 2 and do one of these.
Yeah, to
okay.
Yeah.
to dash. But for me, I was just doing it on the stick, so it's way easier for me that way.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of locked in this encounter, and you're shooting it in the eye, trying to get in. You hit the parts, and you see the damage numbers, just like Horizon, all that good stuff.
It almost reminded me weirdly of like Infinity Blade. Is that what that game is called?
The
Oh, yeah.
phone game.
Yeah.
yeah,
Phone
game,
sure.
It like the like attack and dodging and just like stationary. It honestly reminded me of that a lot.
totally.
Yeah. But obviously way more you're
Yeah.
in it, so
In Blood, after we killed him, we opened a chest. There's like loot you get
Yeah.
that you can use at like a crafting table for upgrades
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff
Got
like
it.
that. And I got like a health thing where if I got 4, I'd get more health or something like that.
Yeah, because I know like even you didn't put a lot of time into it, but I am curious like what the long-term game is. You know, like how much of it feels like a game and how much of it feels like just like a theme park ride. you
Well,
know?
it does. I guess it captures like what you do in Horizon a lot.
it really
Well,
does.
at least right now is like, well, not only like mechanical, like yeah, you're climbing a lot, you do that in Horizon all the time, you're shooting your bow, but there's also story, like
Good story so far.
characters
Blood. I was
showing
invested.
up that I didn't
Nice.
expect to show
Yeah.
up. Where it felt very much something in between 1 and 2.
I think it is during 2. I looked into it, Brad.
Okay.
Set during 2, and they already said, a lot of characters from the games are in it. The protagonist is Shadow Karja. who's
Yeah.
they have a big presence in the Horizon universe. So I think that's a cool
Yeah.
corner of the Horizon universe to explore, playing
Yeah, I
as
think so,
Shadow
too.
Karja. So I was invested pretty quickly into the
'Cause
story.
You're this guy, and your whole thing
Yeah.
is you're working with them to like get a pardon, essentially.
Yeah.
Did you see like any other types of weapons or tools or anything like that?
I didn't see anything else like that. Like most of the stuff I did after the combat was just climbing and getting to a certain area.
Okay.
But I'm
There's a
sure
bunch
there's
climbing.
more.
Right.
I think there's probably gonna be different arrow types and stuff too. Probably just
Oh
like
yeah,
Horizon.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So, but
And then the leaping too.
the leaping, yeah, Huber was like jumping over a cliff and stuff. Like that was cool.
You
It's
gotta
like,
grab it.
yeah. It does a good job of like slowly introducing you into the game. Like Blood, I picked up a key at one point and I had to take it out of my inventory. And you put in a lock and you twist it. Huber
Okay.
had like a crank. He had to like
Yeah, Half-Life
put
style.
in something. Yeah, it's very Half-Life style and that kind of stuff.
Shit's sick.
But definitely so far seems like the showpiece of the platform. This game was built ground up for this thing. This is a first-party game. It's very impressive visually, and it seems to have really nailed that Horizon feeling that you expect from that universe.
It was a really short game, but it gave me the same like budget production values as Batman Arkham VR. Like that thing was way short,
Yeah.
but like the same impact
Yeah.
of quality.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll get that port.
Yeah.
I hope so.
That game rules.
But
It's-
yeah.
it's that one's so short, but it's so
Yeah,
good.
it's like if you like Horizon, this game's a no-brainer. I'd say it's definitely worth playing.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then what the bat?
What the bat? So what the bat is, I like VR games like this, Blood, where you just have. So the whole game you have just bats as hands.
Yeah.
Your arms are bats.
She was
Baseball
like
bats.
born with them, right?
Yeah, so Blood, the beginning of the game, you start as like a toddler. And you're doing just toddler stuff. Like the first things you're doing, you're at like a baseball field, I think. And the whole game is like hitting these trophies. That's the whole game. Every objective is like hit the trophy with something. So at the beginning, you're just like hitting a baseball at the trophy, and you're doing stuff like that. You're just like in the bathtub doing stuff to hit the trophies like that. As you get older, you start doing stuff like more teenagers are doing. Oh, it's funny. After each world, you take a selfie with the bat thing like that. Camera, and you take a selfie for it. But also, as you're going through this world, there's always this elephant with you. He's like an imaginary elephant, I assume.
Imaginary elephant.
I assume
okay.
he is. He's just there with you in every level. He's helping you out with stuff. Like when I was probably like a teenager, Blood. Some of the missions were like. Actually, let me go back. When I was a toddler, one of the things was putting shapes through shape holes.
Right.
But you're just trying to do it with your bats, you know?
Like learning how to use chopsticks.
One of them's like a fish shape, but you try to do it with like a live fish, trying to like squirm around, so you're trying to squirm it and get it in there. But luckily, if things get out of hand, you can just quickly reset it. There's like a button you push on one of your bats and it just resets the whole thing.
Nice.
When I was older, I was trying to get cereal into a bowl, you know, like that. Then I was trying to give cereal to my elephant friend across the table, like hitting cereal boxes to him. Then there's one part where you're outside, you have paper airplanes, you're flying through like rings, but you have a joystick that's controlling them, so you're trying to use the joystick with your bats and trying to control them, all that good stuff. It's just really fun, dude. I was like, man, and the levels aren't too long either, so they go by pretty quick.
Yeah.
It was
what the
delightful.
golf was like that too.
It was
like
delightful.
One crazy thing after another.
It was super cool. I really liked that game. I was like, man, I want to finish this game. Hell yeah. It was cool. Big time.
And then Tentacular.
That's how I feel about Tentacular, Brad.
one.
I want to finish this game.
Yeah.
This game rules. You're a squid.
You're a giant like sea
you're like a
monster.
kraken.
Monster, yeah,
It's a squid.
kraken. Yeah, you're like a kraken in this thing. And the controls are just 2 tentacles, and you have to do little puzzles. But the cool thing is you're a giant kraken in this world, and it looks like a diorama. And I'm obsessed with that level of scale. You know.
Yeah.
So early on, one of the guys, he's like your father, right?
So
Or, like, your mentor.
beginning of the game is you have a family, like a sister.
Yeah.
It's your 16th birthday, and she's like, I have to tell you something. You're adopted. So you find out about that thing. Then you deal with all that. Then you get, the whole point is you try to get a job. So you're getting a job, and this whole thing is you get the job, and you're, helping people just with job.
Yeah.
So it's, a lot of this humor is, put this here.
Yeah.
Do this thing.
So there's a lighthouse, and little guy here, and the guy is like, yo, I need you to, crank the lighthouse and get up there, and go find this padlock around the back to lower that. So you have your tentacles, and you're grabbing people and lifting them up to places.
Yeah.
And, doing all these tricks and stuff, and then. What's cool, it was going through different environments at a pretty nice pace. Each puzzle was its own environment. So that one was like a simple lighthouse. Then there was one that was like a big city island, and you could talk to the people, the villagers and stuff. And one of them, someone was hurt and they needed a nurse. So it's like, oh, find the nurse. So you have to look through the buildings and
look around,
grab the nurse. And then one of the last ones I did was find the yellow container that has items in it or whatever. It's this big construction site. And I haven't talked about it, but the way the tentacles feel, the feedback on those, it's you're grabbing it and sucking it out of there.
Not only do you get the feedback on the controls, you get it on the headset.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. The headset rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the surprise. The first time that happened to me, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's wild.
So it is really immersive, yeah. So it's you're just digging through containers and
Yeah. One of the things I had to do in one of those levels was there was these objects set up that I had to destroy. It was Angry Birds, dude, and I used telephone pole wires and stuff as a slingshot.
Sick.
So I got explosive barrels and I'd put them on there and I'd pull them back and you'd see the arrow go in there and you'd unleash it, dude, just like Angry Birds. And I was like, yes, I love this game. This game is awesome.
the vibes are so good.
It's very nice.
One of those games it feels like you could play for 10 minutes or 2 hours. Just whatever.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And you played Moss 2 just briefly, just to check it out.
Yeah, because I played through all of Moss 2 on PSVR
Quest?
last year.
Oh, you did 2. That's right, on PSVR 1. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I just kind of popped in and looked around, and again, definitely nicer with the controllers to be able to, because the way Moss works is you use so you kind of have this, you're this spirit thing
falling.
looking in on the world. And so like you have this sort of like orb that you can use to interact and move things around. But then you also use the control stick to move the character around, the little mouse, and, you know, attack things and swing things. So it's like this, it's sort of like a blend of like other types of VR games and like an Astrobot game. But the camera never moves. Every time that you go into another scene, like there's a static camera, and then but you can do this thing to kind of look around and peek around corners. So originally on the first PSVR, like you used the DualShock.
Yeah.
And it was like tracking the light bar.
Yeah, through the camera.
Yeah, and so that sometimes would be a little bit weird.
Yes.
But with this, it's nice because for one, like it's tracking both of your hands separately, and then it's just more natural. You're not having to worry about the camera or anything like that. And then the barrels and stuff in the game. I feel like when I first played through that game, I mostly just like slashed those. But with the orb, you can also like just sort of grab them and pop them. It's like popping bubble wrap here.
Oh,
like
very
just
satisfying.
Love
Smashing
popping
those
bubble
barrels
wrap.
felt so good.
That's always me. Pop, 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 pop.
Very good sensation. And then it just overall it's just like one of those things where it's like it's running at a higher frame rate, higher fidelity, better lighting, better textures.
Yeah.
And then I played a little bit of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which I haven't played before.
No, I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure what it was. It's like you're in like a shipping.
Yeah,
You're like a cargo ship
but
or
you were
something.
like you had like some tools you were messing with and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. So it's like you're like a dude on a cargo ship, and I was using the teleport thing, but yeah, it was like I'd pull out this multi-tool, and like one thing would be like a screwdriver, and then like you'd.
Cool.
It was like a powered screwdriver, so you'd put it in there and go.
That's fun.
on all
Top
the
10
screws.
multi-tools.
Yeah.
Deus Ex.
And then you'd swap. So when I first swapped it, I didn't realize what was going on. I'm like, where'd my screwdriver go?
Yeah.
But you swap it. I think the control stick or something, and then you've got like what looked like a stun gun or something, like this electrical thing.
Shoot some droids.
Yeah.
And then I swapped again, and it was like a blowtorch. But I didn't really get to use all that stuff. I was just kind of
Could be a GoldenEye situation, like
Yeah.
cut through some
something,
metal or
yeah.
something.
yeah. But yeah, so I didn't really do a whole lot, but it was just cool to just like be one of those things where like you're in the Star Wars
Yeah.
universe. You see the little
Droids.
boxy
walking around.
droids driving around.
Gonk.
And check them out. And-
Cool for the Disneyland aficionados too
Sure.
to go to get the whole context
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
land.
Yeah, I
Like,
wanna check it
I
out.
bet that's awesome.
Yeah, I want to check it out.
Yeah, that was definitely another one that felt like I'm in a theme park thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
totally.
there would be these just monitors up top with the guy, you know, giving
Yelling
you
at you.
instructions or whatever, and it's just like this just feels like I'm in line at Disneyland
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't play GT7 or anything like that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely need to play
Village,
more.
because those are like huge, probably awesome things. But
It'll
overall,
be really nice to play Village to compare it to
Yeah.
7.
But overall, I'm like pretty impressed with what they got going on so far, especially like the launch lineup. Like the little amount I played,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Because I like the balance of, you know, what the Bats and the Tentacular is, these games that are just more of like individual puzzle based
Quick shots, like
quick shots.
Yeah.
And then you have, you know, your
Horizon big adventure
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, can't wait to sit in a race car and drive fast, man.
Yeah, I'm really curious to how that's gonna
Oh
feel.
my God, Bloodworth, like the dash, just like looking around the dash and the car and everything.
Yeah.
Because
Or,
you
like,
do like the
looking out-
virtual, like I don't know how it works.
Like, can I
You'll have
look?
to see.
Can I look in the rear view and like the side mirrors when I'm changing?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Check my
Absolutely.
blood. Check my
Yeah.
blood spots, dude.
Because they had
Yes.
you know, GT
Yes.
Sport did a little bit of that.
Nice.
And the exact that like eye tracking probably comes into that too.
Dude.
You just look at your mirror, look in the mirror, look up at the mirror.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Overall, though, big step up from
Huge step
PSVR 1. Big step up.
I agree.
Big step up. It just depends if there's a game you want to play on it right now. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like we're not the biggest VR experts. We haven't played a lot of those
Sure.
things that are
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
there already on other platforms, but we have played some Oculus stuff here and there,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
PSVR stuff. But
I'm waiting for Resident Evil 4
ooh,
remake VR.
They haven't said that's what
yes,
they have.
they-
Oh, they have.
They did. Yeah.
Yo,
Oh.
Easy Allies gave Half-Life Alex Game of the Year. What's
sure
up?
did.
Yeah.
What's
sure
up?
need that port.
We sure do. We do need that port.
Yeah.
That's a mandatory port.
Dude, mandatory.
Gotta talk to Gabe.
Yep.
Jeez.
Get it over here, Gabe.
So thank you so much for checking out our impressions. We've got other previews, and Frame Trap is a podcast where we just talk about games that we're playing, and that goes up on Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. And if you like all the things that we do, we are funded by our fans. Please consider going to patreon.com/easyallies and dropping in $1 a month or $5 a month, and there's all kinds of different rewards that you get for different tiers. And thank you again for watching, and we will see you soon. Review copy provided by PlayStation.